And this will improve all of your training if you use it correctly. So, and this is an overview on the best tool. Hey everyone, I'm Christophe Clugston. I'm a tactical canine dog trainer. I've trained dogs from the Arctic to the jungle on 3 continents since 1974. I've trained. Your dog cannot hear your command. The dog cannot comply with and do the command. So that's one of the things. So before we get to all that, like everybody says now on YouTube, hit the like, share, and subscribe, and there's a bell on here maybe. Hit the bell. This channel's got to grow. One tool that'll improve all your dog training 99%. Okay, this tool is used, for bird dogs, mainly retrievers and pointing dogs, used for anti-poaching dogs, used for hunting hounds, be that boar hounds. It's used with sled dogs too. Dogs that are used in the gulag, I have some specific knowledge of that area. A few people know about that. Cattle herding, they use this tool. See it used with movie dog trainers. And circus dog trainers, by the way, too. I should mention that many people never talk about those. They don't know anything about movie dog trainers or circus dog trainers. All these areas prove the validity of how useful this tool is. Hang on, and you're going to find out. So, signal clarity is one of the big reasons to use this. Signal clarity. And signal clarity, what do I mean by that? Meaning that it sticks out, it has a specific, actually hertz if you want to get into the auditory range that it's found in, that it's not heard often in the environment, and that it carries and can be used for a very long distance. It's also very regular, meaning it doesn't change with your emotions. It doesn't change. It's still clear and it's still the same signal. Now, being very clear in communications with humans is very important, but with canines it's even more important because this isn't a language. Now, as an academic linguist, I can delve into those things at the very structural, analytical level that you won't find other people capable of doing in the dog world. But for now, let's just stick with the fact that this has to be very clear. It has to be very, very black or white, digital, as we say, 0 or 1 for the dog. It can't be gray, it can't be maybe, it can't be sometimes. It has to be yes or no. What I'm talking about are whistles. There are many different types of whistles, and I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to show you some examples. And let's talk about them right now. Any experience with sheep herding dogs? These whistles are really more considered a musical instrument actually, because they can make several different sounds, and you'll have to listen to some sheep herding guys because I am not that good with the thing. And I have to say, for emergency use, unless you've been doing this for several years, I wouldn't use one of these. But just to give an example of the sound that you can generate with this, and it's not like a normal whistle. This is sort of like playing a musical instrument, as I said. I have 3 dogs looking at me. The sound is very clear to them, and they can hear it for miles. I have a dog outside actually that heard it and is barking now. And another version of this is this. It's a slightly different tone, not much different, but okay. You can see that my dog is very interested in it, and that's something I'm going to cover in a second. But let's go through. So the sheep herding whistle, actually a musical tool, is historically one of the best uses of the whistle. Now this, anything with European dogs, because this is more common in Europe, used in some sports and some biting sports. French ring, for example, and that's these Acme whistles. This one is very good for using at close range, and by close range I mean like about up to 100 meters or so, because it's not extremely loud to humans. It doesn't blow your ears off when you use it. And some dogs like this, and these are actually two of the same, and then this is at a different hertz level, okay, frequency level I should say. Do this, but this may alert some of my dogs. Yeah. She's very quick, and so is my other dog. There are, I'll cover this in a second, there are certain things that you should know about using whistles, and I'm going to cover that in a second. Okay, now those are real. In North America, I mean Canada, United States, are not used to using those type of whistles. The Fox 41s. Now I have two Fox examples here, and actually this is a normal size Fox, and this is what they consider the mini Fox. They're actually not much difference. Width is really the only difference. The width of the two is really the only difference. Now this is very easy for most people who have not used a lot of whistles, haven't had a lot of practice to use. This is also very good because when it's cold, this is the type that you'll find sled dog mushers using, because it's plastic. Meaning it's not metal, and it's not going to get stuck to your lips in sub-zero in Celsius or sub-zero in Fahrenheit weather. So this is another sound that certain dogs respond to better than others. And that's the mini, and I just didn't want to blow this too hard because these things are loud. More or less the same tone, not exactly, but we're having competition with retriever trials, it's called. This is a Roy Gagne, and this has a funnel on end of the whistle. So this focuses the sound out, drives the sound straight out more than just all around you. The tone of this whistle is I do not like as much, and my dogs don't respond as well because I test out these on different dogs. It's a higher sound than the other. Now, the silent whistle, it is not silent. It just does not register loudly to humans. You'll see that this was used for stealth dog training, this reconnaissance, for searching houses where there's not a lot of background noise going on. This is very useful. If I blow it, you may not hear it on this, but this is the Acme. It's really the only one to get. There's a lot of knockoffs. You can control the frequency by a screw on the back. You have to find which frequency is the best for your own dog. So that can be used, but like I said, again, tactical dogs, this is also used with messenger dogs, which is if you're going mega long distances, you're going to find a lot of advertisement for this whistle right here. This is used for emergency situations also. It is loud, and I almost don't want to blow this thing because it's extremely loud. It has a double chamber that rushes the air out of it, and it's, like I said, it is loud. I'm not going to blow it very hard. This is the longest range whistle that there is, proven empirically. This thing is loud. In fact, it comes with earplugs to put in because it's extremely loud. This, when you're working with a dog a mile away, they can hear this as long as it's not howling wind, which is something I need to talk about in a second, but I'll give you a little instance of what this sounds like. I'm not going to blow it very hard, but this tone frequency is very good with some of my dogs. They respond immediately. Two of them just perked up and ready to come. I really want to blow it because I'm giving them too much recall signals when they're right here. Anyway. What are the uses for a pet dog person? One, your emotions don't change the sound. It's replicable. It can be used at nighttime. It can be used at daytime. It can be used when there's people talking. It cuts through that because it's not the same frequency level as human speech. It's not something that gets worn out with the sort of the boy who cried wolf too many times. People who use come or hear. We don't use that. We don't do that, and I don't train dogs to respond to that because too many people do that. If you're in an English speaking area and you teach that, the dog's going to hear it so much that they're going to start picking it up as background noise, and the signal won't be clear. It's one of the things that I've done a lot of work on, is signal clarity. A lot of pet dog trainers don't think about it, they don't worry about it, and a lot of the pet owners don't care. That's because they just don't know. They need to be educated about it. It cuts through the noise, it cuts through the wind too. It carries much further. If you're out in the backyard or field, or you're out with your dog and you're trying to get your dog to recall, which is the main usage of whistles, or retriever guys also use the whistle to teach sit. Like the dog will stop and sit, and they also change directions with the dog. With pointer dogs, they will use the whistle for casting. It's called casting, switching left or right. Also, herding dogs with the shepherd whistle, they have many different commands that are attached to the different signal. And you can train any behavior you want to, more or less, with a whistle if you know operant conditioning. It's very easy to pair the whistle with the behavior. This is why movie dog trainers have used it for a long time, and before them circus dog trainers, because with all the noise going on in the presentation of the circus, the clowns and everything with the dogs, usually circus dog trainers use a lot of poodles historically. There are other dogs, but historically poodles. They were giving signals to the poodles with whistles because the crowd cannot hear that whistle background noise. Again, and once again, signal clarity is what it's all about. If your dog cannot hear your command, the dog cannot comply with and do the command. So that's one of the things that's very important. So these whistles are vitally important to a tactical trainer. Like I said, whistles are where it's at, really. And if you're a dog owner and you're going to a dog trainer that doesn't know about whistles, I would say find one that does know about whistles and implement it with your pet dog. You're going to have a better behaved dog. You're going to have more control with your dog. You're going to be able to reach to your dog further distances than with your voice. It'll be clearer. It's going to cut through the background. The dog is going to know it's you. That's one of the things about signal clarity. The dog will know it's you. It's like having a secret password or using a code language. Okay? So. You know somebody, by the way, who matches my credentials far back and has many different types of dogs across 3 continents, put the link below, okay? I'd be interested to find out who that is. Check out all the dogs. I actually have more dogs now than most pet dog trainers have in their lifetime.